The hope is that this renewed sense of unity, common purpose, achievement, pride, however you want to label it, but the hope is that Mr. Obama can translate this into progress on a number of economic issues that have been stuck in a very polarized Washington, D.C. That is the hope. The reality is going to be tough. It's going to require a tremendous amount of leadership on his part, and it's critical that he gets moving quickly before this moment starts evaporating.
Would you agree with many people then that debt is that #1 issue that they need to tackle, and maybe he will only get one bite of the cherry, as it were, and this might be the one issue that could transform the debt discussions now?
I would put unemployment at the same level or slightly above debt. So I don't think that is both necessary and sufficient to change the outlook for the U.S. I think the unemployment problem, which I call a crisis, is as important. I think you can wrap both of these things up in the same issues. It's about improving the functioning of the economy, it's about dealing with the housing issue, and it's about dealing with both the expenditure and the revenue side of the budget. So I would put the budget and employment right up there.
You say unemployment, but what can the president do, really? I mean, it's about small companies creating jobs.
I think there's growing recognition that today's unemployment problem in the United States is increasingly structural in nature. If you look at the numbers, about a quarter of the 16 to 19-year-olds are unemployed. The longer the youth is unemployed, the more unemployable they become. You have 6 million Americans that have been unemployed for more than 6 months. If you look, there's so many numbers that suggest that this is a structural issue, which means that you need progress on structural steps. Otherwise, we're going to try to deal with the budget with a smaller share of the working population carrying the burden of the economy. I just don't see how you can avoid dealing both with the budget and with employment at the same time.
If you're dealing with employment issues, does that not actually increase the deficit and therefore increase the debt?
No, on the contrary, you can do it in a way that actually reduces the deficit. The reality is that in order to raise taxes, in order to collect tax revenue, you need people working and you need people to pay the tax bills. If you don't start addressing the structural component of unemployment, the tax base in the United States is going to be reduced once and for all for quite a bit. So you can do it in a way that's complementary. They don't need to be substitutes.